Tyreek George running down the wing, hear the Chelsea sing, we're all going to Wroclaw. Tyreek George, running down the wing, hear the Chelsea sing, we're all going to Wroclaw. Djurgarden 1, Chelsea 4. Bish, bash, bosh, job done. Another European final, here we come. Yeah, it's what we do. Guys, that is how you navigate a European semi-final. Arsenal, take note. Arsenal, take note. Yeah, really good tonight. Really good. Impressive performance. Yes, we know that the level of opposition is not the best, but you can only beat what's in front of you. And I have to be honest, I wasn't worried pre-game about us struggling against this level of opposition, but sometimes, when you're playing on that kind of pitch, plastic pitch, artificial pitch, AstroTurf, whatever you want to call it, that can be a real leveler in terms of bridging the gap between the quality between the two sides. And I mean, when a game started, I'm just thinking, what is that pitch? But ultimately, it didn't cause us any issues. The quality shone through. We were more than good enough. And most importantly as well, guys, we did not pick up any injuries. It was a really good use of the squad by Enzo Maresca, the perfect blend of, going with some first team players and rotation as well. Subs well managed also, with obviously pre-planned with players getting 45 minutes each, looking after the workload ahead of the game against Liverpool on Sunday. So it was an impressive night for Maresca. Got the tactics right, got the changes right, got the squad balance right, which hasn't always been the case this season. We had a couple of goals in the first half, one from Jadon Sancho and one from Noni Madueke, both assists from Enzo Fernandez, who is having an exceptional season, really doing well. I think he's on 26 GNA for both club and country. And when he went off, you could tell he didn't quite play as well. And we are an infinitely better side when he plays. Despite what people say, despite the haters and the agenda merchants, trying to say, this guy's not good enough, let's get rid of this guy. We are miles better when he plays. And again, another impressive performance from him with those two assists. First pass, Jadon Sancho, really nice. Obviously, the second one from Madueke, much easier. And Sancho as well, by the way, is definitely improved in recent weeks, playing like someone who does not want to return to Manchester. But you'd have to ask where this form has been really since Christmas. We're now seeing the Sancho from when he first arrived at the football club. And it's good to see. And I think, personally, what I've seen over the last few weeks, I probably would now make this move permanent for sure. Madueke with another goal, dangerous, looked a threat, direct, good finish. Another impressive performance from him, which is good. And in that first half, we were playing some really nice stuff, moving the ball a lot quicker than we normally do. We were on the front foot, we were direct, we were aggressive, we were creating opportunities. And most importantly, we were clinical in front of goal, which how often do we say that? We don't say it very often in terms of Chelsea being clinical in front of goal. But we were in that first half. Obviously, he makes the changes at half time. You see Palmer come on, you see Jackson come on, you see Chalobah come on. And it was a little bit of a disjointed start to that second half. I think that the subs disrupted the flow, as you'd expect a little bit when you make that number of changes at the break. But we started to find our rhythm when we got back into the level of performance that we were reaching in the first half. And a real confidence-boosting night for Nicolas Jackson. 2 really well-taken goals and 2 very different goals. That first one, the pass from Cole Palmer, it's an assist for Palmer, but Jackson makes that goal by chasing it down, by forcing the defender into a mistake. And then in the end, obviously, he's got an easy tap in. But that comes from not giving up. That comes from the relentless press, and that comes from putting players under pressure. And you do that, you will get your rewards at times. And the second goal is a really good finish. Caicedo wins the ball really high at the pitch, just on the edge of the Djurgarden box, knocks it to Nico. Nico takes a touch and he slaps it top bins, a finish of confidence. And it looks like, the guy's confidence is coming back, is finishing, has been good over the last couple of games. Really good goal against Everton at the weekend, and then another 2 good goals tonight. And it's amazing what a goal can do for your confidence. You wait ages for one, and then suddenly, you seem to go on a little bit of a run. That's 2 goals. That's 3 goals now in the last 2 games. And hopefully, he'll get another one against Liverpool. But yeah, a good performance from Nico tonight. Needed that confidence boosting. And yeah, 2 very different types of goal. And his ball striking actually is looking pretty decent. I suppose the only downer on the night, if you could say that, was that we conceded a goal we didn't really need to concede. But you can't be moaning when you've won a European semi-final first leg 4-1. I'm not going to, zone in too much on that. Yes, okay, defensively we're a little bit sloppy in that second half, but it didn't really matter in the end. We got that job done, and now we must learn our lessons from Legia Warsaw in the second leg next week. 4-1 should be more than enough to make heavy rotations before that Newcastle game next weekend, and still have enough to protect our scoreline. Djurgarden weren't particularly good. They didn't offer an awful lot going for. They put a couple of dangerous balls into the box, but that was really about it. So I hope that we've learned our lesson from that Warsaw game where we lost at Stamford Bridge, and we don't make the same mistakes. It was also nice to see, obviously, 16-year-old Reggie Welsh come on towards the end. Great to see youngsters making their debut. And he very nearly scored with his first touch, which would have been quite some story. And he certainly must be one of the youngest players to play for Chelsea. And yeah, that could have been a fairy tale few minutes for him, but it wasn't to be in the end. Philip Jorgensen as well, by the way, making a couple of good saves. And when he was brought into action and when we needed him, he was there to help us. So yeah, a positive evening for him. Not a lot to do, but the stuff that he did have to do, fair play, good job, and he kept us in that game and made sure that we didn't concede any more goals than necessary. So yeah, I mean, there's not really too much more to add. It was a professional performance. It was a solid performance. It was one of those, we went there, we got the job done. Potential banana skin with the pitch, avoided injuries, gave players rest, good management of the squad, good management of the players. And now, we've got time to rest and regroup. Well, limited time to rest and regroup before the massive game against Liverpool on Sunday. But it's another win in the Conference League. Obviously, we're not unbeaten still, but yeah, a big win. Gives us exactly what we needed ahead of that second leg. We can play a heavily rotated side and should have enough to go for and be able to rest players ahead of that big game against Newcastle. Another positive tonight as well is that Brentford beat Nottingham Forest 2-0, which means with the same amount of games played, we are now in 5th and we are ahead of Forest on goal difference. So it looks like this Champions League lark is going to go right down to the final day. And as I've been saying for weeks now, this Forest-Chelsea game on the final day of the season could well be a shootout for that final Champions League place. But that was a nice little cherry on the top tonight. 4-1 win in Europe and Forest losing as well, which has handed us a huge opportunity in the race for the Champions League, and one that we cannot afford to fumble. The door's been left open for us. We need to go through it head first. We can't be not making it through that door. So yeah, lots to be happy about, guys. I know it's a Conference League semi-final. I know it's not a very good team in the Swedish league, but if you can't be happy about winning European semi-finals, then what are you doing supporting a team in football? You've got to enjoy the good moments. You've got to enjoy the wins when you get them. I know this season's not been all singing and dancing. It's been a lot of ups and downs, but the narrative could change very quickly. We're in a Conference League final now, and if we get a result against Liverpool, then the narrative will start to change on Maresca. And this is what I'm saying, guys. It is such fine margins we're dealing with here. We're operating within such fine margins. So, this could be a massive week for Chelsea. If we can get the win against Liverpool, which is a big if, of course, and obviously coupled with the fact that Forest lost, things could be coming together for us. It's about time we got a little bit of luck in terms of another result going for us, and we just got to hope and pray that we can actually take advantage of it ourselves. But yeah, book those tickets to Wroclaw, people. Book those tickets to Poland. Get your passports ready. Chelsea are going to go and complete the set. It looks like it could be a final against Real Betis. They obviously won their first leg against Fiorentina, but you can't rule Fiorentina out from making a potential comeback. But yeah, one step closer to competing the set, guys. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you smash the like, subscribe if you're new around here, as always. Maybe it was the new kit as well. The Mac on the shirt. One could say return of the Mac. But, but yeah, after that, dreadful joke. Guys, smash the like, subscribe, leave your thoughts in the comments below. We're all going to Wroclaw, up the Chelsea, and I'm out. Peace.